Yamo bibia kwaba na yemfa Mega TV and platform we eso. Vincent Asafua Utafo a member of parliament edema MPP amanyuku no. Na owura we ensem bi aba abonten a omuchiremu a owura we ene kae. Na ene ono ankasa ababi ne ho ano. So kae anase wanka. So mbeka last week wonom ena OSP Ebra Kise Jabin special prosecutor Oba Abontin be declare Ken Ofori Atta wanted, in fact fugitive. Na we ana Utafo MP a grantee interview bi wa parliament ena wakase de Ken Ofori Atta farmer na hone de he should carry his own cross. Just on one kasa unsolving the problem. Now this kind of statement, spark a lot of controversies, a lot of comments on the social media space. And I'm mobile say MPP for the sebi omokasa nye crow one kasa o former finance minister ena ne ho aka adwamu ena wo kan we kire no and the woman DC for anyamo woman Ghana for anyamo ensem de kofo aka bi papa abusia Vincent Asafua no ono ankasa e wo hanom obechechire ni nsemu hawa asem no esiba ya omagina no esibone ono na oka wanye me na meka yenkoti nsem no fambra yakoba ye na kai na ebeto aso hanom ya number 1 authentic platform Mega TV. Good morning Ghana show so Metro TV ena moboa ya yenya sansem we bi edebeso bo abusia mesra se obe like jumadi na do comment atum bra conversation ekoso na wa subscribe to the channel no for latest updates. Yinti is from Breco Bebetos.
The Vincent, you have been trending. You have been trending, well, whether for the right or wrong reasons. It depends on where you stand. But I must have been yesterday or so, the most of the media houses or most of the I think your story was awash on social media, where you were saying that the former finance minister is on his own and that he should go and face the music squarely and as an individual. In fact, I think today's Informer newspaper also captured it. Yes, it says ongoing OSP investigations, tell him more. Okay, so that's one. And then also, must have been on Tuesday. No, well, that's on Wednesday. We saw that statement that you issued personally on the back of the decision by the government to terminate the contracts of persons who were appointed by the Etswale Kufuado regime or administration post December 7. An instruction by the Chief of Staff to terminate their contracts for stated reasons, and the reasons have been stated why they did not deserve to be there. Now, you have personally issued a statement, and you are saying that two things. What was done was unlawful, and so you're going to take it to court. It also sets what you believe is a bad precedent, and so you intend to test the matter in court to get the court to reinstate them. I believe that basically will be what you would want the court to do, what you'll be praying the court to do. But you also stated in that statement that a future MPP government would reinstate these same persons who have been dismissed by the government, by the Mahama government. Why did you decide to do this?
Well, Moro, let me say a very good morning to you once again, and to your cherished viewers, especially the good people of Utafo constituency. They are my employers. It is by virtue of their trust that they have in me that I sit here today as a member of parliament for the good people of Utafo. So I'm grateful to them. On Wednesday, in parliament, as the acting secretary of the Ashanti Caucus.
Oh, you're the acting secretary for the Ashanti Caucus?
Caucus,
okay.
Yes.
I'm hearing this for the first time.
So we had a press conference the press conference was in relation to the show of thuggery and machoism in Ashanti region, based on the Council of State elections. The Ashanti regional minister is supposed to be the chairman of security in the region, and the elections were held at his backyard. He was not able to provide the necessary security to ensure that there's a safe environment for us to be able to have that elections.
Free, fair, and transparent elections.
Without the thuggery and machoism. It was on that basis that the Ashanti Region Caucus decided to embark on a press conference at the foyer of Parliament. I did the Twi version on behalf of the caucus. My senior brother, the Honorable Amprechum, did the English version. So after the interview, after the press conference, about half of the members of the press engaged me on the sidelines. In that engagement, they asked me about the termination of this appointment, that they've heard that I am going to court to represent those persons who are likely to be affected, because you remember at the time, it was only the Ghana Water Company Limited that had written a letter in response to the letter from the Chief of Staff. Which letter, in my estimation, was even at variance with the directive of the Chief of Staff, because the Chief of Staff mentioned that it is only for persons who were appointed or employed after the 7th of December. But the Ghana Water Company Limited's letter was for even persons who were employed or appointed in
Before
November.
December 7th.
Even in November. But initially, I hesitated in granting that interview with them, because I felt that the main purpose of our press conference was on the thuggery and the show of machoism in Ashanti region, which we condemned, and we also asked the Electoral Commission to make sure that the right thing is done. Per the information that we gathered, sorting was almost done, and so it was clear that the candidate was winning. It was on that basis that some members of the NDC brought about that chaos. So when I was done with that particular interview, I was just about leaving. And one other guy also asked the question, because I was on the floor of Parliament before that press conference. And when I was on the floor of Parliament, my honorable leader had already made a statement to the lawless act of certain persons who went into the house of Ken Ofori Atta. Because we are not in a jungle. So I termed that as lawless act. It's unfortunate. I mean, Ghana, we've come a long way, and this is not the things that we bargain for. So he asked the question that the OSP, what he is hearing in the media, went to Honorable Ken Ofori Atta's house. And it is on the basis that the OSP has made some allegations against the Honorable Ken Ofori Atta. So my question that my statement that I put out at the time was, the New Patriotic Party, because of our beliefs and because of the fact that we believe in the tenets of our constitution, we are a party of democracy, where democracy is also hinged on rule of law. And the party also believes, or if you like, has an anti-corruption stance, which stance made the party bring about the special prosecutor to be able to augment the already existing framework in dealing with corruption as far as the AG is concerned. So I made a point that the NPP as a party will not shield anyone who is seen to be at the wrong side, and emphasis mine, and I'm choosing my words very carefully, who is seen at the wrong side of the law, meaning who is found to be guilty of any allegation. As we speak, the Honorable Ken Ofori Atta has not been tried. Nothing of a sort has happened. And so on what basis will anybody go to his house and show that lawless act in his house? And I went further to say that on the background that the Honorable Ken Ofori Atta and his lawyers are already engaging the special prosecutor, it is clear that this is a cross that the Honorable Ken Ofori Atta can carry. When you say this, how do you get that kind of publication that I have seen out there today? If you go to their website, there's no more there.
Did you use the word telemo?
No. I don't even understand telemo. I'm not a guy. I don't. What's the meaning of telemo?
Telemo. I mean, carry.
No, I don't even understand. No, I don't even understand Ghana.
Okay. So you didn't use that word?
No.
Okay.
So this was the basis.
Yeah.
And this is what I said. So I was totally misconstrued. It is a total deviation of what I said. It is not a reflection of my intent, and it cannot be the party's position. And so what you saw out there...
Because the initial impression that was created was that you had thrown the former finance minister under the bus.
I have given you the background now.
I understand that. I'm saying the initial impression that was created. Now here's the thing. If you look at today's Informer newspaper, this is how the Informer newspaper reports it. And I'm happy you're here because then you're able to put, clarify or set the record straight. Now, it's actually a news desk report.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. It says Vincent Asafua, who's the New Patriotic Party Member of Parliament for Otafo, has advised the former finance minister, Ken Ofori Atta, to carry his own cross in relation to the ongoing investigations launched into his activities during the tenure by the OSP. The MP's comments came after the OSP had declared the former minister a fugitive when the news went around that he left the jurisdiction of Ghana or maybe hiding somewhere within the country. And it goes ahead to give a whole background, but you don't need that. But this is where you were supposedly quoted. Commenting on the issue on Accra-based Star FM, Vincent Asafua admonished Ken Ofori Atta to take in his strides what is happening and carry his own cross without blaming anyone. Telemo is a Ghana expression loosely translated to be carry your cross. Meanwhile, the MP minority in Parliament, so this is how the Informer captures it. And you're saying this is not accurate.
Even the flyer that you saw out there, go back to the website, it is no more there. I engaged the media.
Oh, it's been taken?
Yes, it's been taken off. So I'm just saying that it was a total misconstruction of what I meant.
Okay.
It is a total deviation of my reflection.
Okay.
It is a total deviation of what I intended to say. It cannot be what I meant to say. The party, and clearly after elections, if there are people who are defending this party, it is going to be very difficult for you to say Vincent is out of those people. So I am a full-blown party person. And of course, at this juncture, or at this point in time, when party members, as it were, are witch-hunted, I will be the last person not to so. But as I said, the NPP as a party does not, or will not, shield anybody who is found to be at the wrong side of the law. And so it is a total misconstruction of what I intended to say.
Okay, that's fine. And then how about the second issue with the your decision to go to court on the termination of the contracts of persons who were... Have you already instituted, have you already initiated the processes? Well, or you're yet to do that?
So this issue started about 2-3 weeks ago.
Yes.
When the Honorable Chief of Staff issued a statement directing heads of agencies to furnish the office of the president with information with respect to people or persons who were employed, appointed, recruited after the 7th of December. I initially had a problem with that letter or that statement because it is not enough for anybody to think that because you had your letter after 7th of December, that in itself means that it is illegal or the letter shouldn't have been given to you. There are two things that happens in such instances. It is either the letter is indeed valid or it's not valid. I'll get into that.
Okay.
So 2 or 3 weeks after, we now see a letter again from the Chief of Staff now directing heads of agencies to, as it were, suspend, terminate, or revoke appointment letters that were issued after the 7th of December.
Okay.
Now my question is, I have not cited any letter from the president directing the Chief of Staff, because even if you read the Chief of Staff's letter,
signed by Felix Ofosu-Kwakye.
it does no. I think it was signed by
Khalisus Mahama.
Yes,
Dr. Khalisus Mahama.
I think so.
No, I think that the one that I have seen was signed by the Minister for Minister of State in charge of government communications.
That has been. If you have that letter,
President, that's Felix Kwakye Ofosu.
Do you have that letter?
That's the one I have.
Okay. So I would want to make a point.
Yes.
As to whether the Chief of Staff is clothed with that jurisdiction.
Please, if we have the Felix's statement, if we can put it up so that we can read it again, in order to put the conversation. Good. So here we go.
Right.
Okay, so this is signed by Dr. Okay, so you're right. It's signed by Khalisus, so you're right. Absolutely.
No, it's signed by Julius Debra himself.
Yes, this is actually signed by Julius Debra himself. Okay, so I haven't seen this, to be honest with you.
Yes.
There's another one which I saw, which was signed by Felix. So it said the Office of the President, revocation of appointment and recruitment made after 7th December 2024, consistent with government pronouncement in relation to near end of tenure appointment and recruitment. I wish to bring to your attention that all appointment and recruitment made in the public services of Ghana after 7th December 2024 are not in compliance with established good governance practices and principles. Accordingly, all heads of government institutions are hereby requested to take the necessary steps to annul any such appointment or recruitment and submit a comprehensive report on the actions taken to the office by 17th February 2025. So they actually have 3 days more. Okay, your cooperation in this matter is highly appreciated. That's Honorable Julius Debra. So you're right, Chief of Staff. No, you said Khalisus, but this is actually Julius.
Yes, so Chief of Staff.
Yeah, that's fine.
So the point I want to make, and I will take you to Article 195 of the 1992 Constitution.
Yes.
I just want to tease the minds of Ghanaian people.
Right.
As to whether the Chief of Staff is clothed with the jurisdiction and the legal power to write this letter without referencing or without letting the people of Ghana know that he is under the direction of the president to do so. I take you to Article 195.
Okay.
Subject to the provisions of this Constitution, the power to appoint persons to hold or to act in an office in the public services in the president.
Okay.
Shall vest in the president.
Not the presidency. I think that's
not the presidency.
That's the distinction one
shall vest in the president.
In the president. Okay.
Acting in accordance with the advice of the governing council of the service concerned given in consultation with the Public Service Commission. Now, when you take the two, that is when the power that has been given to the president is delegated. The president can delegate some of that power to persons that have been named in the Constitution or if you like, where Parliament has approved that such persons are clothed with the power to do so.
Okay.
So, 2, the President may, subject to such conditions as he may think fit, delegate some of his functions under this article by directions in writing to the governing council concerned, or to a committee of the council, or to any member of that governing council, or to any public officer.
To any public officer?
Or to any public officer.
Okay.
Now, let me emphasize this one. Under this article, by directions in writing. So, the same way appointments are done, the same way revocations will have to be done.
Right.
The office of the President is a continuum. It is not individualistic. And so I am just teasing the minds of the Ghanaian people whether what Julius Debra wrote is in consonance with the law, especially Article 195 of the Constitution.
Okay.
As to whether Julius Debra himself
is clothed with
the power and authority to do what he
that
did.
Statement or that letter.
That is number one.
So we'll leave it to
the people of Ghana.
Not as well, especially the legal brains to debate that. But we'll come back to this at some point, because I'm sure that it's a question, even though it sounds more like a rhetorical question, but it is also to trigger a certain kind of conversation, because this is not the first time we're seeing this. In the past, we've seen chiefs of staff issue all kinds of statements, directing all kinds of things. And I'm sure that at some point we'll come back and have a conversation about whether indeed it falls within the ambit of the law.
Right.
Yeah. So it's an interesting question you've asked.
Right.
Yes. So carry on.
Number two, we need to set this foundation. We need to let the Ghanaian people know as to the power that is given to a person or a president or a governing council to be able to terminate appointment.
Okay.
And that has also been enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. If you read Article 191, it says, a member of the public service shall not be, the B is dismissed or removed from office or reduced in rank or otherwise punished without just cause.
Okay.
Otherwise punished without just cause. And so, a member of the public service, and we will turn, or if you like, I'll turn your mind to the definition of what public service is under the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. You cannot have your appointment terminated.
Sorry, which article again?
This is Article 191B.
Article 191B
of the 1992 Constitution.
We're also doing our research, so.
No, that's it.
No, I get it. No problem.
A member of the public services shall not be dismissed.
I just wanted clarity.
Or removed from office, or reduced in rank, or otherwise punished without a just cause.
Right.
Without a just cause. And so, before a person who is a member of the public service will have his or her appointment terminated, you may have been given a just cause before your appointment could have been terminated.
Okay.
Without just cause, it cannot happen. Now,
but you would also agree with me that a just cause is relative.
It's relative, and it lies in upon toll.
Yes.
Do you understand? Yes.
Yes, that's fine.
It may even be regulated by Article 296 of the Constitution, where discretion is given to the person.
And I'm asking you this question because Felix Ofosu-Kwakye has had cause to respond to this question about whether there's a just cause, and he's given stated reasons why that decision was taken. So when you're done, I can also...
no, it's important, and I'll address them.
Yeah, that's fine.
How is a member of the public service engaged or appointed in this country? How? Before someone becomes a member of the public service, one, there should have been a financial clearance that the person can be paid. And if you look at the definition of who a public servant is. They are civil servants whose salaries and emoluments are drawn from the consolidated fund or any fund that is approved by Parliament of Ghana. That is what the Constitution defines, or if you like, the Public Service Act defines who a public servant is. So after the financial clearance has been given, there should have been an advertisement in the dailies, whether 2 weeks or 1 month or 2 months, depending on the advert that is given.
Yes.
Now, after the advertisement, the Public Service Commission will now constitute an interview committee, which interview committee will now have the opportunity to interview persons who made the applications after the advertisement was made.
Okay.
After the interview session, it will warrant a short listing of persons who qualified or otherwise. It is the short listing of these members or persons who applied that will warrant appointment letters being issued out to persons who actually qualified. So let it be known to well-meaning Ghanaians that no one can use a month, no one can use 1 month to give appointment to persons or certain persons in this country. Anybody who had his appointment after 7th of December does not mean that the person did not go through the due process in getting the appointment. It is possible that the person also did not go through the due process. So I am speaking for persons who actually went through due process before appointment letters were issued out to such persons. It is possible that financial clearance was attained about 6-7 months ago. It is possible that after the financial clearance was attained, advertisement was done about a month or 2 later. It is possible that the Public Service Commission started its interview around October. And it is also possible that after the Public Service Commission gave out the shortlisting of members who qualified after the interview, appointment letters were issued either before 7th of December or after December. So a letter that is given after 7th of December in itself does not make it illegal. That's the point I've been making. And we should be very clear as to how some of these appointments can be terminated. In 2019.
But before you even go ahead to talk about how these appointments are terminated, I have a follow-up question for you before. But let me just say that Atta has joined us. He's the MP for Sagnerogo constituency. He's a new king of the block as far as that constituency is concerned. He beat a political colossus and a giant of ABF Husseini there. He's a very good rapper. He's a very good poet as well. I'm not him. I'm talking about ABF Husseini. We miss him though. We miss him though. Yeah. We have some of his famous. I don't know that. Sorry, Annie. I don't know. I have some of this ABF Husseini's famous quotes. If you do, at some point we'll play it. But we miss him. It's been a while we heard from him. But anyway, good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Salaam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
And Juma Mubarak.
Yeah.
But before you, I mean, your colleague has been.
But normally when I'm on set with them, they always come late. I don't know why. The NDC is always late for programs. I don't see why they do that.
Let's not start the morning like this.
That's a very general attack.
Yeah, exactly.
This is always late for programs. Anyway, I'm sure you had some.
But you are late.
Yes.
Typically,
apologies.
10:04.
I'm very time conscious.
Yes.
You know, even in the house, you people are late. So
you have had 2 quorums raised on the floor of Parliament because they could not even marshal their own persons to come and do government business.
That's another matter that we'll look at. I'm told there are some serious genuine challenges that the first time MPs are faced, especially those who live outside of.
He's aware.
Oh, he's aware.
Yes. No.
Okay, and I'm told
you first time senior. Even
it's accommodation challenge.
The number 88.
Okay.
they haven't been able to even marshal the 88 chamber. I remember the first time I saw their complete set was the inauguration day on SIF.
And since then,
look at them.
Since
You
then.
people that you have 126,
25.
you can't even marshal half of them to
Let's not get him off track.
Yes.
He's very unhappy with the decision by the Chief of Staff to terminate appointments of public servants who are appointed post December 7th. That's the issue. You know he's going to court.
Yes.
So he's addressing the reasons why he wants to go to court.
Okay.
The problems he finds with that singular decision. So please go ahead.
So, in 2019...
Yes. No, sorry. There was a question I wanted to ask you. You said the fact that somebody is being given an appointment post December 7th does not necessarily mean that that in itself doesn't officially state that the person started work December 7th, and so the person must be affected by that policy decision of terminating people's appointment December. So I hope I got that correctly.
Yes.
But how else is the Chief of Staff going to be able to tell whether indeed you were given an appointment post December 7th, if apart from your appointment letter?
So you see why in my
Earlier
initial
submission.
comments,
Okay.
I made mention to the fact that the earlier letter that emanated from the office of the Chief of Staff was bereft of asking for the full information.
Okay. On when exactly the person
yes,
was employed?
No, as to asking for persons who were given appointment letters after the 7th of December, whether or not they went through due process.
Okay. And where due process you're talking about is the advertisement of the
financial clearance.
First of financial clearance, advertisement of the availability of the
PSC
role,
setting up a commission, an interview committee.
Yeah.
The committee also
shortlisting and so on. Whether
going through the interview.
Whether those processes were followed.
That is the right procedure. And I'll take you to the case of the National Service in 2017. And when you give me time, I will read a letter that was written by the current Attorney General.
Yes.
In 2017, when his own law firm wrote a letter to the Office of the President, or if you like, the Attorney General at the time, warning, if you like, or representing members of the National Service. So I have the letter here.
Yes.
So the heading is Ayine and Feli, Law Officers of Ayine and Feli. He wrote this letter on the 22nd of February 2017.
Okay.
He addressed the letter to the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. The heading is Notice of Intention to Institute Local Action, legal action, withdrawal of appointment of 205 employees of the National Service Scheme.
Okay.
Let me repeat it. This letter was written on the 22nd February 2017.
Okay.
2017, around the same time.
Yes.
When there was a change of government. The heading is Notice of Intention to Institute Legal Action. Withdrawal of appointment of 205 employees of the National Service Scheme. We act as lawyers for Lukman Imoro of house number so, Accra, and other employees of the National Service Scheme whose appointments were purportedly withdrawn on the 10th day of February 2017, hereinafter referred to as our client, around the same time, 10th of February. I can go on and go on and go on and go on. It says that we are informed by our clients that they responded to an advert in a daily graphic sometime in 2016 and applied for permanent employment to the NSS. Our clients were invited to attend interviews on various days in 2016, subsequent to which they variously received letters dated 12 December. Letters 12 December. You see, the veteran, the Honorable Ayine, is trying to take us through the processes of what? Attaining an appointment letter as far as the Public Service Commission is concerned. It goes ahead to say that by variously dated letters, they accepted their respective offers of employment and proceeded to their designated offices across the country to commence work and have since undertaken their work without any complaint from the NSS. It goes on to ask what the instructions of the clients themselves was demanding of their lawyer, which is Ayini. It says that our clients instruct us to give you notice, and notice is hereby given that they intend to bring legal proceedings against the state for wrongful dismissal. For wrongful dismissal.
Okay.
You are informed by this notice that our clients will seek, among other things, the following reliefs from the courts.
Right.
A declaration that the letters dated 7th day of February 2017 and the 10th day of February 2017 constitute wrongful dismissal of our clients from their permanent employment with the National Service Scheme. An order directing the National Service Scheme to reinstate our clients to their respective or similar positions at the National Service Scheme.
Right.
And C, a perpetual injunction restraining the NSS from permanently replacing our clients and or offering their positions to any other persons and so on and so forth.
Okay.
So, first and foremost, let me even distinguish between what is happening now and what happened then. What happened then was not a directive from the president or the chief of staff. It was rather an agency led by Mustafa Yusuf, at the time, who went to National Service as the executive director and found out that certain appointments were done at the National Service without due process followed.
Okay.
It is distinguishable with that of the Senate matter. When Ernest Thompson was the executive director of Senate, at the time appointed about 400 people, had the appointment given to them around January 2017, when they were just about leaving office. And those persons, as we speak, Moru, are still working with the National Service, are still working with what? The Senate as an institution.
Okay.
They have not had the appointment terminated. Moru. They have not had the appointment terminated. Senate. So it is distinguishable from that of the National Service Scheme.
Okay.
Which the Honorable Ayini gave an indication that they were going to court, and indeed went to court and lost. Because it was clear that these persons did not go through the right procedures before such appointments were given. So let no one deceive you that it happened in 2017 and it is happening today. Even on the backdrop of what Honorable Asafua said, it was not practicalized, or it was practicalized. It was practicalized because persons who actually went through due process was never asked, even though was never sacked, even though the appointments were given to them after the 7th of December.
Okay.
There were persons who were sacked, even though the appointments were also given to them after the 7th of December, because they did not follow due process. That is the National Service case.
Okay.
And so, let it be known to the people of Ghana that anybody who tells you it happened in 2017, and so if it is happening now, it is okay. No. There are two distinguishable issues, two distinguishable matters. We have not, or the NPP government was not that lawless, was not that insensitive, to the extent that it issued a letter that went across all agencies for the agencies to also go ahead to issue revocation or termination letters to persons. It never happened.
Okay.
So, a case in point, and I will take you to what in 2019,
Okay.
the case of Theophilus Zonko,
Right.
when Mrs. Akufu had the opportunity to address matters that was sent before it. Mrs. Akufu,
You mean Gloria Kufu?
Gloria Akufu,
The former,
yes.
former Chief Justice.
yes, had the
Oh, sorry, the
occasion,
former Attorney General.
had the, no,
You're talking of Gloria, the Attorney General.
no, not the former Attorney General.
Oh, you mean the former
I'm
Chief
saying that
Justice?
this is, yes, the former
Sophia
Chief-
Akufu.
Yes,
Oh,
Akufu.
you mean it's Sophia, okay.
So she had the occasion to sit on this matter at the Supreme Court. If you like, she gave the reasoning, the ratio decidendi, or if you like, the decision of the Theophilus Zonko versus the Attorney General.
Yeah.
Mrs. Akufu had the occasion to refer members, or if you like, persons who actually took the matter to court or parties to the case, to the Transition Act of this country, which Transition Act enumerates portfolios or persons whose term of office is coterminous with that of the president. And it has been stated, I think, under Section 8 or 9 of the Presidential Act, which states that ministers of state, deputy ministers of state, their aides, and even non-career ambassadors or high commissioners will have their term of office coterminous with that of the president.
Right.
And so, persons who are deemed to be permanent staff of the Public Service Commission cannot be treated as persons who are having their term of office coterminous with that of the president. My point is, if anybody was appointed even a day before elections as a minister of state, his term of office is coterminous with that of the president, or if that person was appointed as an aide to a minister or a non-career ambassador or a high commission, that person's term of office is coterminous with that of the president. However, members who are deemed as permanent staff, like the ones we are seeing, members of the Ghana Water Company, members of GridCo. Yesterday, I received about 3 different categories of revocation letters or termination letters. Ghana Water Company, GridCo, GRE. And all these persons have been dismissed, or if like they've had their letter terminated just because there's a directive. And in fact, if you read the revocation letter, it states that based on the directive from the Chief of Staff, they are having their letters revoked or terminated, instead of them to say, the due process was not followed, or per the Constitution Article 191, there's a just cause for us to dismiss or if you like terminate the appointment letters. Okay. None of these things was ever said.
Okay.
Only for appointment letters and termination letters to be given.
Okay.
To these persons. And so, my point is that these persons, these innocent poor people, would need to have their rights under Chapter 5 of the 1992 Constitution protected. They are Ghanaians. They are not MPP or NDC Ghanaians. These persons are Ghanaians. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama indicated to us that when he has the opportunity, he is going to make sure that he creates jobs for the Ghanaian people. We did not sign for termination of appointment. We did not sign for asking young men in this country to, as it were, go and stay home after they have been given or they have gone through the proper laid down procedures to be employed. To end with my submission.
Yes.
I am sending a caution to the NDC government, especially His Excellency the President. As far as our security architecture is concerned, with this, I am terminating appointments of these people and all that. It is risky.
So we and Sema, Vincent Asafua so Ochirumwa or the 2 Ida. Into okay, and now one can. The answer is okay, but also play smart. Now, nkofo Ochirumwa nkofo peso mujina misibon. Sa wonya akwada o. Abranti a otu wonya akwada. Oka Sema. Obi ntimi a different interpretation so that is Vincent Asafua and I tin kan sa guy na nkasa no sa brantie no ombu ade he is very disrespectful papa yakasa obi disrespectful the guy said now see ensem bi na bae galamse nsensem ena na ye kan ho asem okotena UTV e kan sem hunu keke yeni abra ye fight galamse no den time na kufa do na eti so otena UTV making unnecessary comments about Galamsey. And to me, I am one with tea, and then I am one say, oh, guy will bet me aka because NDC for to me trouble bupa dia no any party there. And as a more kind, there is nothing wrong with it. And then there was a Ghana for you who ye. Ebia MPP for there. It may sound, in fact, strange and very, 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 I mean, unwell, unfit to them. But the issue here is, Ken Ofori Atta no ono ankasa na akoso na iyo. Ono na openi na yi na senua. Enti munja no na wonso a. What you say? Ken Ofori Atta e na openi senua because bra na eniema ekoso okurum ha na ye ka ho asem no. Wanye den wonfi obia. Bra na ye ka se ade opanyini wuye yi obo man no. Wonfi obia o. Okoso na ojije bosia to the extent say edrombre bi ono akasa ba abantin be ka kire Ghana for say yenko IMF 2022 ema Ghana for ye boy nsem sha edemano okaye ani na anu ani na nsa na nkofo yi ejina IMF enti eno na atwim adwin si bibi so endro hopsin ye ovi adoye bra na oye oni yura Justice Kwekwana etwetwe nkomo wo front line ye shoe no so no ochiremu a oso ko Ken Ofori Atta fia enhyase no se ye bompai na matras na mabompai kama mubohwia o se kwan so no obisawo asem bia ni wa o kan branti be ka se debi papa na papa o be ka se debi o kan o si yo o kan o si o kan o si o dan wani ko ya na papa no wa ye de sebi o kan no the vice versa. So osima won se wadwuma obum se na udan wani ko ya de no dede no ubenya ko no na wadwuma no collapse. The same thing eno de Alhaji Seidu Agongo. Alhaji Seidu Agongo also friend no ene ni di nkomo se papa ba bia de na du de be ye kra de nka percentage no ma ban famu the larger part na min famu kitwa Heritage Ghana and Heritage amokan se bank asem na making. Oni ni di nkomo to the point that okache nse baby adru no de semu begu bang no ka ne ma ban ensan hye bang na se for some time media me interest ni se enkofo benye adwuma ye me although businessman interest is always profit but media say do gongo de me interest ni se enkofo enye hopeless enkofo enye jobless inti ma bie nwoma enkofo nye bi ba mosisi na abade ayesremo de mama aban san chase aban fa ne santoso na munye adwuma wo onni yewura Ken Ofori Atta di nkomo ema Ken Ofori Atta ahye on se wo ne bang ne de hwie nsi eni na anu ani na nsa opanyin e receive kwa omosi omo revoke ne license into timi ni pa boni semsi ya epebo o so nso de bia wo hye white na de ne nam kuruma kaftan white na dibia onenam kuruma na wo seresere na omomo ono wi sa adwumbone hwetire enti so bit na ba bi ka se Ken Ofori Atta we shouldn't call him to order and I say we shouldn't call him to Ghana to ask and I say to give answers to OSP's questioner masa na minim dia how na minim dia how upon all the embarrassment we at the Ghana economy afaso at the Ghana na nkasa atum no and you sit at your corner you finish chopping what did you one me the offer come receive when you be can say inja Ken Ofori Atta man nenango. Have you forgotten say Ken Ofori Atta cause for a lot of distraction and kofo adwuma say ebia from ya bodam obia from ya ye ensadwam drunkard obia from losing the family obia losing the reputation obia worry agu obia adwuma say enima bibiri and now you are telling us to leave Ken Ofori Atta alone. For what? They're telling us to leave him alone. We should leave him alone. In what sense? You need passing on more or do more far or go trauma him. And I heard a phenomenon saying Ken say why traumatized. In what ways? Why traumatized? Unyanya bonia. Is it then na ya charge you sebra ne be you one? Now won't me be you one now to baby because why traumatized? For what? On what basis? Inti Ken Ofori Atta asem we die meti so bi kan bi amana meti me dwen nipa kro se into so pa dien mogya ne gumu se bi ade adwene ne deltrim ade we ya akoso yi Akufo Addo apen so even to the point say ono an MPs timi ba bonti be ka se yempe no ono an MPs so si yempe no half of the minority e ba bonti say yempe no senkena MPs ni na 88 no komu nyina no beba because no number 88 and that time no 89. So half of it about one thing ever say yempe no but still yet a Akufo Addo say me fee me mamo mo pena me pena because me na me choose no itiene sani we aba we are sitting somewhere telling us in Ken Ofori Atta no ni nam no didi masa I am in person me kasa asem we crowd ye ma me fa wonsi Akupon shira me ma me che ba for United States of America, mammy and coupon your case, mammy will be with UK, and coupon shira mammy, no be a negative, and coupon cost one shell, my crowd, bye bye.